everybody, and welcome to another exciting hour of Mid-South Wrestling. I'm Jim Ross, and along with Joel Watts, will be calling the action. Another tremendous hour, Joel. Some very key matchups and some great stars here today.
Oh, no doubt about it. We've got some really great stars. Brickhouse Brown returns. The Barbarian's going to be here. Jake the Snake Roberts and Dr. Death in tag team action. Chris Adams will be taking on Steve Casey in the second round of the television tournament. And the big one, I think, the Dream Team, Terry Taylor and Kerry Von Erich.
That's right. They'll be teaming up today right here on Mid-South Wrestling. As Joel alluded to, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start our television tournament right here today. As you know, Terry Taylor vacated that title after he won the North American Championship from Ted DiBiase. And the tournament will start here today. Let's take a look now at the bracket and see the men that are entered in that tremendous tournament. Of course, you're going to see some of the greatest stars in wrestling. The number 1 seed is Hacksaw Jim Duggan, as deemed by the Mid-South Board of Directors. The number 2 seed is Gentleman Chris Adams. The winner of the match today between Chris Adams and Steve Casey will get a bye in the second round. Hacksaw Jim Duggan obviously got a bye in the first round. Plus, in today's action, you will see in the television tournament, you'll see Tim Horner against Tommy Prichard, and as I mentioned, Steve Casey against Gentleman Chris Adams. The big television tournament, very special set of rules. In addition to the regular Mid-South rules, ladies and gentlemen, every match will be one fall with a 15-minute time limit. A time limit draw will be rematched the following week. Also, a disqualification counts as a pinfall and eliminates the wrestler that has been disqualified. A double disqualification will eliminate both wrestlers. And, of course, these men were seated by the Mid-South Board of Directors, and we'll tell you more about the tournament. We'll see our first match in just a few moments. But, you know, last week, one of the most tragic things happened here in Mid-South Wrestling that I've seen in quite some time. Even though General Skandar Akbar, Friday, and Kamala, in the eyes of many, had it coming, and I can't say that I disagree with that, the pile driver that Friday took on the floor that has eliminated him from wrestling may have been the bond that broke the communication between Kamala and civilization. General Skandar Akbar is real concerned about that, but right now let's go and see exactly what happened in the closing moments of last week's match.
Kamala, now Akbar just threw Carl Fergie out. Grizzly Smith's going to have to get some help because Kamala, he's going to go off the top rope. Kamala's going to try to end the career of Shawn Michaels. And look at Akbar and Friday. They don't care about a victory. It's like a warning statement to Terry Taylor. There's Tim Horner getting in the ring. Kamala just chop-tipped Terry Daniels. Trying to get this under control, going, Pierce.
Well, Kamala is just going wild
You
with
hear the crowd
everybody.
roar. Terry Taylor's answering the challenge. Terry Taylor's answering the challenge. He knows what they want. And Terry Taylor just got annihilated by Kamala and thrown right over the top rope to the floor. Terry Taylor's on the floor. Now Kamala is devastating everybody. Akbar's going about. Akbar's going to run Terry Taylor's head into that steel post.
Oh, mercy.
Terry blocked it. And Terry just popped Akbar. Watching from behind Terry. Friday's coming from behind. Terry Taylor pile drive Friday on the concrete floor. Terry Taylor just pile drive Friday. Kamala has seen it. Kamala has forgotten the focus of his anger as his man Friday. Kamala's man Friday. Terry Taylor, this crowd is standing. Terry Taylor just pile drives. He just pile drive Friday on the floor. Friday is unconscious. He's like a rag doll. Kamala's just picked him up. Kamala has picked him up and is leaving ringside with Friday.
He just left the action in the ring, left the men, and went to his men. Friday and Bill, like you said, he's loftily carrying him to the dressing room personally.
Well, the pile driver that Terry Taylor gave Friday really ended or severed the communication between General Skandar Akbar and Kamala. Did not end it, obviously, but it very much damaged it. General Akbar, incensed over that maneuver, he made these comments right after the match.
If I were you, Terry Taylor, I would sell all of my belongings, all of my property, and I'd sell my soul because, mister, you are now a marked man. You were to begin with. But this dastardly attack on Friday, my control was limited in the past. And I cannot guarantee anybody in the Mid-South or all across the wrestling world that I can completely control Kamala. This is chaotic. This is the most dastardly thing that anybody can ever do. And as I've said before, Terry Taylor, you are a marked man. You better look over your left and you better look over your right.
Some extremely strong comments from General Skandar Akbar. He is very concerned, and well, he should be. Can he control Kamala? How will he communicate with him? We'll keep you updated on that situation. Now let's go to the ring announcer, Boyd Pierce, our first television tournament match.
This is the first round match for the Mid-South Television Championship. One fall or 15-minute time limit. In the red corner, 227 pounds from Houston, Texas, Tommy Prichard. And across the ring, 228 pounds, Knoxville, Tennessee, Tim Horner. Your referee, Carl Fergie, one fall or 15-minute time limit.
One fall with a 15-minute time limit. This is your first television tournament match. Remember, the men that the single elimination tournament, the winners advance on to vie for the television title and a chance at that $10,000 in cash. Two fine young scientific wrestlers. Joel, this should be a fine one to start our tournament.
Well, with a 15-minute time limit, you might expect a slower-paced match, a little bit more psychology, a little bit more concentration on ring tactics. But with these two guys, I think they're just going to go at it wholeheartedly. They are, you know, some might consider them the underdogs in the contest. They're certainly not the top seed. Look at that! Look at that, a rear double cup. Tommy Prichard reversing it. He gets out of the leg hold quite nicely. Two fine athletes.
They certainly are. Great condition, and they are really primed. The stakes are so high. #1 television program in the country, ladies and gentlemen. They want to be the TV champion and $10,000 richer.
Yes, sir. Tommy Prichard off the ropes. Whoa! Whoa! Prichard caught the top of Horner's back as he was trying to jump over him, and he went clear out to the concrete floor. It would be a very unfitting way to end this. Boy, Jim, what good sportsmanship. I like it.
That's great, Joe. It's like a breath of fresh air to see some tremendous sportsmanship when you see the things like General Skandar Akbar's done and many others. Great, great gesture by those two fine athletes.
And you know, it's really rare to see that kind of thing when $10,000 is at stake in the purse. Whoa, back to the action. I'm telling you, these two men are burning up the canvas. Tim Horner's got Tommy Prichard in the arm bar now. He's got that thing extended out. When you hyperextend the elbow like that, you're taking away the man's arm strength.
Both these men are fine young competitors. Tommy Prichard has held many regional titles. Of course, Tim Horner at one time won half the national tag team champions with Brad Armstrong, so they know what it's like to go to the throne room.
Well, Tim Horner back up on the arm. He's managing to keep his weight above Tommy Prichard, making him carry the load. It'll be interesting to see the outcome of some of these television tournament matches. I think it was a great idea.
Of course, we'll see our second one here today. You'll see young Steve Casey, impressive newcomer you saw last week here in Mid-South, go against gentleman Chris Adams, the American champion.
Oh, Tim Horner just about got a fall there on Tommy Prichard. He slicked him back and caught him, and Prichard now I think realizes that he may need to rearrange his game plan just a little bit because Horner's got him in trouble. Horner, I think, is probably one of the most underrated grapplers in the wrestling profession, even though his size. Aroa! Tommy Prichard caught Horner in an inside cradle and just about had him for the fall that time. And this match has been nip and tuck. I think with Horner catching a slight majority of the aggressiveness so far. But who knows, Prichard might have been hurt in that fall out to the concrete floor. Horner with the arm whip. Off the ropes comes Prichard, and now into an abdominal stretch. This is a submission hold, Jim, and this could be it. No, Prichard managed to not let Horner get the leverage on him and managed to break that hold quickly. Very wise maneuver, but Horner going to the well once again, circling out through the ropes. Tim Horner goes out through the ropes now. And Tommy Prichard just about followed behind him. Carl Fergie about to start the count there, but now Prichard out to show his returning the gesture in kind. It's Tommy Prichard. Carl Fergie about to... Prichard's got him up. Oh, no. Prichard caught Horner in the chest with that top of that steel barricade. And you know that had to hurt. And Prichard telling the referee to start the count.
Well, even though the stakes are extremely high, there's a limit to everything. That was totally uncalled for. Now look at Prichard. And the referee has got to count. That's the rules, and he is abiding by the rules. And young Tim Horner is in a bad, bad predicament on the floor.
Well, I'm concerned about Tim at this point because falling over those steel barricades like that, especially when you're unconditioned for it, he could have suffered a broken rib at this point. 10 count. A 10 count, and Tommy Prichard the winner by disqualification.
Well, referee Carl Fergie has counted out Tim Horner, and that eliminates Horner from the tournament. Prichard moves on, and ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with Brickhouse Brown right after this.
This bout, one fall or 10-minute time limit. Corner to my right, from Minnesota at 275 pounds, Thor. And his opponent, 229 pounds from Tampa, Florida, Brickhouse Brown.
Brickhouse Brown will go against Thor here on Mid-South Wrestling. Randy Anderson, the third man in the ring. He calls for the bell. We have action. And as you saw just a few moments ago, Tommy Prichard has advanced in the television tournament. He'll be going against Hacksaw Duggan in a later round here in the tournament.
Well, Jim, it's kind of astonishing how Tommy Prichard won that match. But, you know, like we were saying, $10,000 is a lot of money, and to a young professional in this business, I think it can mean quite a bit to step up in the ranks and win the television title. But look at Brickhouse Brown go. Brickhouse is just an amazing wrestler. He goes into a lot of matches as the underdog, but he's so slick, and the power of his drop kicks, I feel, is pretty much unparalleled in professional wrestling. He's cool. He uses his head. And now he's powering away on the arm of Thor.
Well, he makes up for a lack of size by tremendous quickness. I don't know if there's a quicker man in wrestling executing the moves that he can do.
No doubt about it, Jim. Brickhouse Brown is definitely a finely tuned athlete. And a really good person as well. A great guy. Continuing to wear down the arm of Thor. Whoa! Thor really cut Brickhouse hard. Right in the chest area with a big forearm. This Thor is just an awesome specimen, no doubt about it. And he makes up for his inexperience in the pro ranks with his size. And Brickhouse, though, Brickhouse with those hard rights and lefts. He now has the momentum.
He is certainly used to being the underdog, and he takes the fight right to him. Oh.
He went for the flying body press. Thor wasn't aware of it. Thor went looking for him, and Brickhouse caught him with that headbutt. Oh, yeah!
Brickhouse Brown victorious on Mid-South Wrestling, and we'll be back with the Barbarian right after this word from Mid-South Sports.
This event, one fall or 10-minute time limit. In the red corner at 6 foot 8 inches, 320 pounds, from parts unknown, the Barbarian. And his opponent, 240 pounds from the state of North Carolina, Richard Dye. Your referee, Ron West.
Ron West, the third man in the ring. Boyd Pierce very quickly moves out of the ring, and rightfully so. He's 6'8", 320 pounds, and he has come onto the wrestling scene, Joel, like no other athlete I have seen in years.
No doubt about it, Jim. He is the talk of the wrestling world. An awesome athlete. He made a tremendous name for himself in no time at all as he defeated the Iceman here on Mid-South Wrestling. His conflict with Hacksaw Butch Reed, his tremendous size and his relentless, vicious attack that he uses in the ring has earned him quick fame. Now with the top wrist lock, I don't think Richard Dye has much of a chance in a test of arm strength with the Barbarian. Richard Dye, an experienced pro wrestler, but I think he's a little bit intimidated by the Barbarian, and frankly, I don't blame him, Jim. Up the second rope. The Barbarian turns it to his advantage. Richard Dye, I think, gave it his best shot right there, Jim, and I just don't know if it was that effective against the Barbarian.
Well, we have not seen any maneuvers that have been effective against the Barbarian from any athlete, ladies and gentlemen. This man is, without a doubt, one of the forces to be reckoned with in Mid-South and in professional wrestling, for that matter, in the 80s. He is an awesome specimen.
You know something, even though this man is a tremendous, he just stumped the rib cage of Richard Dye. It's vicious. What's he doing? A clothesline. Well, I'm telling you, he just makes you feel sorry for whoever he's up against. The full Nelson, and Richard Dye's up in the air. Dye trying to block it with his legs, but to no avail. Ronnie West calling for the submission.
He's undefeated. He is tremendous, the Barbarian. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with more exciting Mid-South Wrestling right after this.
Your next bout, one fall or 10-minute time limit. In the red corner at 260 pounds from Oklahoma University and Tulsa, Edgar Boo Thomas. And his second during this match, Dr. Death Steve Williams. Across the ring, in the blue corner, 229 pounds, the pride of Marietta, Georgia, Brad Armstrong. Paul Fergie, your referee.
Mid-South Wrestling returns here with this matchup. Edgar Boo Thomas, the All-American amateur from University of Oklahoma. There you see him with his second. Another All-American from University of Oklahoma, Steve Dr. Death Williams. There's the bell. We've got action. Edgar Boo Thomas at his toughest test to date, going against Marietta, Georgia's own Brad Armstrong.
Edgar Thomas with a fireman's carry, showing that great amateur background that he's got. Edgar Thomas, an All-American from OU, as was Dr. Death. Collar and elbow tie-up. This is a big test for Edgar Thomas right here, going against Brad Armstrong. Brad, of course, an experienced pro. Arm drag. And Dr. Death asking, look at those drop kicks. Boo Thomas turned around and was looking for approval from Dr. Death. Brad Armstrong caught him off guard with a couple of drop kicks.
Dr. Death was doing a little coaching a la Stan Abel and Barry Switzer, but it didn't help Edgar in that predicament because, you know, Brad Armstrong, what a tremendous athlete he is, Joel. Former national heavyweight champion, former North American heavyweight champion, a great young athlete, and what a tremendous person.
No doubt about it, Jim. He's a great guy, and he's moving right up the ranks in Mid-South. I tell you, I'm glad to see it, too, because I've always felt that Brad was a great athlete. I watched him when he wrestled on TV in Georgia, but I also watched Edgar Thomas when he was an amateur at OU, and I'll tell you, this is a great matchup. There's you got a guy that's an experienced pro but is still young and a great athlete. You got a guy that knows all the amateur fundamentals. Look at that, Edgar Thomas. Edgar Thomas had Brad Armstrong's shoulders to the mat there for a moment.
Referee Carl Fergie conversing with Steve Dr. Death Williams. Brad Armstrong, tremendous young man. The state of Georgia can really be proud of this guy.
Whoa! Whoa! Brad Armstrong was tripped there by something. I would imagine it was Dr. Death. We couldn't quite see it on the monitor. But I don't think it was the ring apron, Jim.
It certainly was. A Dr. Death tripped Brad, and Ed Carr, Boo Thomas, the All-American from OU's really taken over.
Well, Edgar's learned a lot. Imagine from Dr. Death's coaching. Plus, in the amateur ranks, you got to know when to shift gears. As soon as you get that momentum, you got to really turn it on and apply the punishment to your opponent. And Edgar Thomas has got Brad Armstrong in a big predicament now because he's got that rear chin lock clamped down. We're seeing the basic fundamentals of wrestling in action here, Jim.
We certainly are, Joel. And one thing about it, I heard Dr. Death tell Carl Fergie to ask if he wanted to give up. Brad Armstrong wouldn't give up when Ted DiBiase had the figure 4 on him. So I guarantee you that rear chin lock's not going to get the job done as far as a submission is concerned.
Well, when you're talking along the psychological standpoint, if you've got somebody out there goading you to give it up, it can sometimes enter your mind when you're in that haze of pain and you're losing the oxygen to your brain. He's got your head controlled. And Edgar Thomas, I think his size kind of belies his real strength because he is a very strong and able competitor. And Brad Armstrong manages to extricate himself from the rear chin lock off the ropes with an elbow, and now he's got the momentum. I'm sure he's going to capitalize on it because Edgar Thomas is certainly a rugged competitor, and I'm sure Brad has found that out. Left hooking him. He's left hooking him. He's got Edgar off balance, and a big right uppercut sends Thomas to the mat. This could be it. I think Armstrong might have missed out on his chance to gain the fall, but into the turnbuckle he goes. Arm whip into the turnbuckle again. Dr. Death holding Edgar Thomas's tights. I think he sensed that Brad Armstrong was going for the coup de grace there. Edgar Thomas tries to get the lateral press in short order, but misses. A sunset flip. He's got Edgar down for the 1, 2, 3. Big victory. Big victory for Brad Armstrong.
A tremendous victory for Brad Armstrong, and we'll be back with great tag team wrestling after this exciting announcement about some great Mid-South wrestling coming your way.
Tag team action, 1 fall or 10-minute time limit. The team in the red corner, 248 pounds from Atlanta, Georgia, Jake the Snake Roberts. And his partner, 270 pounds from Oklahoma University, Dr. Death Steve Williams. Across the ring, the popular duo from Texas, first 222 pounds from Amarillo, Terry Daniels. 221 pound San Antonio, Shawn Michaels.
Tag team action here on Mid-South, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks very much for staying with us. Jim Ross and Joel Watts at ringside. Referee Randy Anderson calls for the bell. We have tag team wrestling, a lot more excitement coming your way. Steve Casey and Chris Adams, the second match of the television tournament coming up next. Plus Kerry Von Erich and Terry Taylor team up together. Still in this hour, Mid-South Wrestling.
Well, it's been a great hour, and if you just joined us, fans, you picked a great time to join us because, like you said, Jim, we got great matches to come. This is certainly a fantastic match, and we've had 4 spectacular matches up to this point. Okay, Shawn Michaels coming over. He got Dr. Death. Oh, a 2 count. We just about saw a big upset there. Shawn Michaels really caught Dr. Death.
Well, these two young men certainly are not intimidated by their more experienced and larger opponents. And I got to say this, Joe. Last week, Shawn Michaels was against Kamala, and for any athlete to step back to the ring 1 week later, it's a tribute to that fine young athlete from San Antonio.
Well, I'll tell you, I think Shawn Michaels is definitely a superstar on the horizon. He's putting on weight. He's getting in the gym, and I think he's going to be a great superstar. Jake the Snake hit with a hard body check, slithering. True to form, he lives up to his name once again. I'll tell you, Jake the Snake seems to me to be a little bit psychologically deviant. He blames his condition on society, I think. He blames everything on everybody else around him. If he loses a match or something, it's because the lady at the toll gate wasn't very nice to him, or the guy at the gas station didn't put his gas cap on or something. He's a very strange individual, and he hit Terry Daniels with a hard clothesline. Daniels really hit the mat with a lot of impact, and Jake, a little overconfident, goes after Shawn Michaels, and Shawn's ready for it. Shawn's not about to take that kind of treatment.
Why, no way. And referee Randy Anderson had to put Shawn Michaels back out. Jake Roberts has one other element, Joel, that we can discuss, the fans know. It's called DDT.
Probably one of the most dangerous holds in wrestling, one of the most effective. But you know, Jake the Snake is kind of like a rattlesnake. He can't bite you with it unless he gets coiled up. And as long as a man, I think, can keep Jake the Snake moving and keep him off balance, they can stay out of that DDT. But it's tough to do, and Dr. Death elevates Terry Daniels and drops him down hard across those steel cables, and now it looks as if he's choking Terry Daniels. And that's one of the most frustrating things about Dr. Death, is because he's such a great wrestler, he's such a great athlete, he's so strong, yet in order to get ahead in the Mid-South, he still resorts to unfavorable tactics, questionable tactics. And now, Jake the Snake back into the ring using classic tag team strategy. Back on Terry Daniels, not allowing Terry to make that tag. He's applying the rear chin lock, controlling the head and controlling the body therefore. But Terry Daniels is down into a drop toe hold, and Jake, with his tremendous length, managed to get the tag. Terry Daniels now with the tag. Terry Daniels with the tag, and Shawn Michaels in, the fresh man. But Dr. Death in great shape. Dr. Death caught off guard there with a drop kick. Snap mare. Shawn Michaels up for the knee. He hammers Dr. Death with him, and he's got him on the run. We could see an upset in the making here, Jim. Look at Shawn Michaels go. Whoa! Oh, Dr. Death quick to monopolize on the situation with a pair of elbows, and Shawn Michaels has got to be hurting about now. Dr. Death has got him up. It looks like he's going for that stampede, but no, he tags off to Jake the Snake Roberts and literally hurls Shawn Michaels across the ring with a tremendous body slam, the DDT. Jake the Snake with the DDT.
And that's all. There's no way. 1, 2, 3. Jake the Snake Roberts with a DDT. Roberts and Dr. Death victorious here on Mid-South Wrestling. And when we return, you'll see Steve Casey go against gentleman Chris Adams in the second round of the TV tournament right after this.
This is a second round bout in the Mid-South Television Championship. In the red corner, 238 pounds from London, England, Chris Adams. And across the ring, 251 pounds from Manchester, England, Steve Casey. This is a 1 fall or 15-minute time limit match.
The second match in the television tournament about to begin. Steve Casey. And there you see, gentlemen, Chris Adams, the American heavyweight champion, the number 2 seed in this tournament. The man that wins this match will receive a bye in the next round. Chief referee Ron West assigned this match by Mid-South, a very, very important encounter for 2 world-class athletes. Obviously, we know a little bit more about Chris Adams than we do Steve Casey, but his appearance here last week proved one thing, Joel. He is a very capable athlete. We know that Adams is.
No doubt about it. Adams is an international superstar. Steve Casey, also from England, I think will prove to be a very good competition for Chris Adams. They know each other's style. You know, Jim, I noticed that out in the audience there are a lot of people holding up signs with the names of wrestlers, and I think it's great. I think a lot of people are starting to sit up and take notice of the great competition in the Mid-South. You know, you can't fool the fans. They know quality that when they... And here at Mid-South, we strive to keep quality wrestlers, quality athletes, and quality competition on television. Steve Casey just ducked out of the way of Chris Adams, and Adams goes out. Adams is befuddled, I think. Adams over the top rope, and in it. Adams a little too aggressive, charging at Steve Casey. Casey with a pair of arm drags. He's got Chris Adams down to the mat, but Chris showing the form that has made him a true superstar back to his base where he can compete. And Casey really, really stretching that arm. He's got that top wrist lock pegged in there, but Adams with his tremendous agility manages to, with a front hip handspring, to get out of it, and now he has the headlock and the predicament on Steve Casey.
Ladies and gentlemen, still to come in this hour, Kerry Von Erich and Terry Taylor together as a team for the first time here in Mid-South. Plus next week, Joel, what an hour. The Nightmare will be here. Dutch Mantell, Eddie Gilbert, and the Rock and Roll Express return to Mid-South right here next week. So wherever you are, ladies and gentlemen, in the 5 great states, anywhere, the Superstation in Atlanta, be sure to stay tuned in next week for another great hour.
Well, it's going to be great to see the Rock and Roll Express back, along with the other new athletes that will be coming into the Mid-South. I think it's great. I think being on WTBS has even made some wrestlers take notice and try it. But Steve Casey with a hard forearm, I think got Chris Adams' attention once again, and Chris may have a little bit more on his hands than he might have expected. Adams with the single leg, going to the headlock. But Casey's a big man, and I think it's going to take a little bit more than a headlock to pin him. Ronnie West with a 1 count. Chris Adams admonishing Ronnie West to make that count a little bit faster, but Ronnie West, one of the most skilled referees in the profession, has a very deliberate count. And I'll tell you, I never really see any deviation in the speed in which he counts. Fine referee Ronnie West is. Chris Adams back to the headlock.
Also, ladies and gentlemen, if we have time in this hour, you'll see Hacksaw Duggan with country music superstar John Anderson of swinging fame. That and Kerry Von Erich, Terry Taylor. Still a lot more to come here in Mid-South.
Oh, a hard body check by Chris Adams. He sends Steve Casey down to the canvas. It looked as if Adams was going to get the aggressiveness, but again, Steve Casey with the arm drags. What a match.
Joel, I'm really impressed. Both these tremendous athletes. Casey, a little unknown commodity, but he is rapidly gaining a great deal of stock here on Mid-South.
Oh, Casey just about had it. Casey just about had it. Adams, with the great balance that he possesses. Hard right cross. Steve Casey staggered. Super kick, and over the top rope goes Steve Casey. Wow! Wow! And Ronnie West about to start the count. Boy, I tell you, it's amazing. Amazing that Steve Casey was even able to get back up to his feet. What a tough guy. Adams with that super kick would have dropped, I think, the normal human being. Adams relentless. Apparently, Adams has seen that Casey has a lot of athletic ability. A hard suplex. This could be it. Adams is up to the top rope. Ronnie West telling him no. Ronnie West tells him no, and Ronnie rings the bell. Ronnie's calling for the bell. Adams up the top rope. That's a disqualification.
Well, Joel, it's a disqualification, but I couldn't see from my vantage point if he made contact. I think, and I may be wrong, but I think that you have to make contact off that second rope. But there you see the winner, Steve Casey, by disqualification. You cannot come off the top rope. That's the referee's decision.
Well, the referee has the last word in the situation. There's no doubt about that, Jim. And he was telling Chris Adams not to come off the top rope, and I think Chris deliberately disobeyed him in an attempt to get back at Steve Casey for the embarrassment that he suffered at Casey's hands. And Casey hammered him with right crosses. Now, Chris Adams trying to get back at him. Chris Adams does not think that this match is over, I don't think. Chris has got him tied up in the ropes. Adams has got him tied up at the ropes. And now Casey is at the mercy of this international superstar. Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah! Casey gets out of the way. I think that saved him.
Adams is going for the super kick, but Steve Casey, there you see the winner. Casey's the winner. He advances in the tournament, and we'll be back with the Dream Team, Terry Taylor and Terry Von Erich, after this from Mid-South Wrestling.
This is a tag team event, one fall or television time remaining. In the red corner, at 230 pounds from Alabama, Paul Brown. And his team partner, 265 pounds from New Jersey, Jack Victory. Now coming into the ring, the Dream Team. Introducing first, at 233 pounds, the North American heavyweight champion from Vero Beach, Florida, Terry Taylor. And his team partner, 255 pounds from Denton County, Texas, the modern-day warrior, Terry Von Erich. Your referee, Carl Fergie.
Where else but on Mid-South Wrestling could you see a combination like Terry Taylor, the North American champion, a tremendous superstar, and the modern-day warrior, Terry Von Erich, together, right here on Mid-South Wrestling.
Well, I think this is a main event in itself. I think anybody that you put Kerry and Terry up against would be a main event. Jack Victory going to the ropes. Terry Taylor out-wrestled him a little bit there. Victory goes back to the collar and elbow tie-up, headlock. Victory hurls Taylor off into the ropes, and Taylor with a high knee. Arm drag. Taylor for the tag. Jack Victory made the tag, but it was underneath the top rope, so it was illegal. Kerry with a kick to the midsection and a body slam. 1, 2. Kerry just about had him. Oh, a high suplex. Jack Victory comes into the ring, untagged. All 4 men in the ring now. Carl Fergie starting to count. This could be a double disqualification. Whoa!
All right, we got both men pinned. Terry Von Erich and Terry Taylor made short work of their opponents. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's show you some footage from the legendary Honky Tonk in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's Hacksaw Duggan and John Anderson.
Recently, one of America's great honky-tonks, Duke's Country in Tulsa, Oklahoma, was a setting for a party that won't be soon forgotten. Mid-South Wrestling superstar Hacksaw Jim Duggan and his buddy, Warner Brothers recording artist John Anderson, jam-packed the legendary Duke's Country with wrestling and country music fans. As Hacksaw and John made their way to the stage, these two friends knew they were in for a very special evening.
I'll tell you I ain't Jim, but he's coming on out. Come on out here, Jim.
I'm Bill Payne with KTFX, and you all just blow me away. I can't believe this crowd tonight. Woo! Well, I'm telling you, Jim, hacksaw right here. Jim, you got something you want to say?
Yeah, Bill, I just want to welcome Tulsa. You people know who, from Warner Brothers, the Black Sheep, John Anderson, and the John Anderson Band, baby. Having a good time in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Tomorrow night, baby, we're going to kick some tail.
All right, KTFX presents John Anderson.
My daddy was a brakeman on a highball traveling train. Mama, she raised 4 little children, and her family had a good name. And Papa and Mama wanted all for us they never had. Big brother, little brother, and sister too, none of them turned out half bad. Except me. I'm the black sheep of the family.
Between shows on Anderson's tour bus, Hacksaw and John spoke of their mutual respect and admiration.
We got here tonight, we welcome to it, and we're certainly proud to have Hacksaw Jim Duggan out with us.
I'm glad to be here, that's for sure, man. And all these people here tonight are really popping. Listen to John Anderson, and I'm up there with him, foot stomping good. I enjoy it, John, man. I'm having a hell of a time tonight.
Appreciate it.
I might have to beep that, but that's the way it goes.
I understand the beef. Believe me. I guess you all travel just about as much as we do.
Yeah, we're on the road quite a bit, but
lots of fun, isn't it?
It's a lot of fun on the road. You get to meet a lot of people.
Yes, sir.
Have a lot of experiences, and I'm just happy to be part of all this.
Well, I know what you mean there as far as the traveling and the meeting the folks. There's nothing quite like it. I also know that a lot of country music fans are big wrestling fans. I know I'm one myself.
Oh, great, John. Because I know a lot of pro wrestlers are country western fans, and we enjoy listening to you. Even the Rock and Roll Express, sometimes we put a John Anderson tape in and do a little cooking on the way to the towns. Because we enjoy some foot stomping ourselves, man. I'm having a good time tonight. Enjoy and appreciate you.
Oh, yeah, we're going to have a good time, folks.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan and John Anderson, quite a pair, and these folks certainly agree. I'm Jim Ross for Mid-South Sports at Duke's Country in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
John Anderson, Hacksaw Duggan, the legendary honky-tonk in Tulsa, Duke's Country. What a scene that was, ladies and gentlemen, right here next week on Mid-South Wrestling. You'll see 2 TV tournament matches. You'll see Jake the Snake Roberts against Brad Armstrong. Plus, you'll see Dr. Death Steve Williams against Private Terry Daniels. Plus, Dutch Mantell, Eddie Gilbert will be here. The Nightmare will be here, and the Rock and Roll Express return. For our ring announcer, Boyd Pierce, for my colleague, Joel Watts, I'm Jim Ross saying so long, everybody.
everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of the exciting Mid-South Wrestling Television Network. I'm your host, Boyd Pierce, and we have the exciting action. You'll see Brickhouse Brown in the ring against Edgar Thomas. Also, we move into the third round of the Mid-South Television title tournament, Private Terry Daniels versus Dr. Death Steve Williams. The Rock and Roll Express is here. They'll be in against the team of the Rugged Barbarian and his partner, Jake the Snake Roberts. Steve Casey from Manchester, England returns. Also, we'll see the new team of General Eddie Gilbert and his team partner, 280-pound, who called himself the Nightmare. Kamala, the Ugandan warrior, here, along with General Skandar Akbar, and we'll see the debut on Mid-South of Dirty Dutch Mantell. A lot of exciting action. To tell you about it, the president of Mid-South Sports, Bill Watt. Bill?
Boy, this should be another great hour, and we want to thank you again for inviting us into your homes. First, I want to make a slight commentary. You know, New York and Titan Sports and WrestleMania and everything that's been going on, they've been making a lot of allegations. They attribute, Vince McMahon has self-attributed the fact that he has caused a new renaissance or rising in wrestling. I want to tell you something. Wrestling's been on a roll since 1970, and everybody in Mid-South knows it because they've made it happen here, and we really appreciate that. He's taken a lot of credit for things that don't happen, but I want to say one thing also. There's athletics and there's showbiz. You know, Muhammad Ali was a great fighter. He was a crowd pleaser. He was so great that he could show off and still knock you out or whip you. A lot of great wrestlers are like that. That's what makes pro wrestling exciting. But when you take an actor and make him an instant wrestler, that's baloney. And I want to say another thing. Even Mean Gene Okerlund has been in the ring in a main event in Minneapolis. I think when ring announcers can get in the ring, that's baloney too. That's why we'll never feature that in Mid-South. We have athletes in Mid-South that are two-time All-Americans like our first bout here, Edgar Thomas. They start just like everybody else from the bottom up. We play no favorites. And when you're talking about showbiz and stars hanging around, I was talking to Dusty Rhodes on the phone the other day, and Dusty said, you know, Bill, remember when we were walking tall in Georgia, how the people hung around? And I can remember back in the middle 70s and right on up to now, Dusty Rhodes, when he was in New York, was with Bette Midler, John Belushi on stage when John was alive. He goes all the time to Willie Nelson concerts, Boxcar Willie. I know Jerry Clower has come right here on Mid-South. Jerry Lee Lewis used to go to the matches in Atlanta. A good friend of mine, Jeff McKay, who stars on Magnum P.I., he comes around a lot. The Gap Band, who live in Tulsa, come to the matches in Tulsa. ZZ Top and Dusty Hill are big fans in Houston. So I want to say one thing. Stars have been around wrestling for years because they wanted to be and the wrestlers wanted to be. It wasn't where somebody paid them to hang around. So I want to say one thing. We're going to stay right with what makes wrestling solid and a sport. Mid-South Wrestling. Let's go to the ring for the first exciting bout.
This match on Mid-South Wrestling, one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing first in the red corner at 260 pounds from Tulsa and Oklahoma University, Edgar Boo Thomas. Down in the ring, ladies and gentlemen, at 228 pounds from Tampa, Florida, Brickhouse Brown. Your referee for this match is Randy Anderson, and Edgar Thomas will be seconded by Steve Dr. Death Williams.
Now you heard the official introduction and announcement by Jim Ross. Edgar Thomas from Tulsa and Oklahoma University, and his second in this match, Dr. Death Steve Williams, against Tampa, Florida's Brickhouse Brown. Randy Anderson called for the bell, and Bill, we're ready for action.
That's right. This ought to be a great contest. Edgar Thomas, a two-time All-American, seconded by his mentor, Dr. Death Steve Williams, a four-time All-American, against Brickhouse Brown, who's paid his dues the hard way, brother. Men that are in shape, that have paid the price, that love wrestling and respect it. Anybody can imitate it, but very few people can get out there. There's no magic wand that makes you a superstar. You got to get it by being tough and paying dues. Without pain, there is no gain. Edgar Thomas would love nothing else better than to beat Brickhouse Brown. Dr. Death has taken a personal side to the Brickhouse Brown situation. Hip lock. Brickhouse is so quick. He's so quick. Edgar Thomas a little confused. I don't think he's been up against somebody quite this quick. Brickhouse Brown. He can fly. He can get up there. When he comes to the ring, the people start rocking and rolling because he's got that soul in every step. Armbar. A great card by Grizzly Smith here today. As you see the Mid-South flags in the background. Irish McNeil Boys Club here in Shreveport to capacity. And Brickhouse catches Edgar Thomas with a roundhouse. And Edgar Thomas a little bit confused as Dr. Death intently looking on. Dr. Death made some personal remarks to Brickhouse. Brickhouse has said when you get in that ring, all those remarks go out and it's just man to man. And you prove yourself by who's the toughest and who wins it. You can see a couple of heavy forearm smashes by Edgar Thomas as he's pressing hard in on Brickhouse Brown. Oh, Brickhouse Brown catapulted him. He catapulted him in, and as Edgar Thomas lost his balance, Brickhouse really whipped him into that second turnbuckle. That brings some shock waves to your neck. Brickhouse Brown going up. Dr. Death has held Edgar Thomas tight, but Brickhouse right up. And did you see that drop kick? That drop kick. Edgar Thomas was hit right on the chin with that drop kick. Brickhouse is so quick, he has totally demoralized Edgar Thomas. Slam. He sets for him, waits, flying headbutt. He levels Edgar Thomas. Dr. Death is up. Dr. Death went for Brickhouse, but Brickhouse wasn't there. Now, Brickhouse Brown has got the doctor, and the doctor has just been playing a house call of his own, and here comes Jim Duggan. Edgar Thomas taking the gas on the ringside. Let me tell you, if you're in that ring, don't be taking the gas. Listen to this crowd as the big hacksaw comes down, and these people voice their approval of Brickhouse Brown.
Well, Brickhouse Brown cleared one side of the ring with Dr. Death, and the other side.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back after these messages from the sponsors of Mid-South Wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, this one fall 15-minute time limit match is the third round of the Mid-South Television Tournament. The eventual winner will win the medal and a $10,000 check from Mid-South. Introducing first in the red corner at 270 pounds from Oklahoma University, Steve Dr. Death Williams. His opponent in this television tournament match weighs 221 pounds from Amarillo, Texas, Private Terry Daniels. Your referee is Ron West.
Private Terry Daniels versus Steve Dr. Death Williams as we move into the third round of the television title tournament. That means it's a one fall or 15-minute time limit, Bill.
That's right, boys. And Dr. Death, Steve Williams, a four-time All-American at Oklahoma University in wrestling. 2 years as starting guard on the Oklahoma University team. He blocked Marcus Dupree to stardom. Hacksaw Duggan told me during the commercial break he'd come down when he saw Dr. Death sticking his nose in the business to help Brickhouse out, but Brickhouse didn't need any help. He took care of everything in that ring. And Duggan said he's really proud of him, as is everybody in Mid-South, because he knows there's a lot of people out to eliminate him real quick. Now that Butch Reed and the Iceman are gone, Brickhouse is like the last of the Mohicans. Wow, Terry Daniels, a nip-up. Dr. Death clear over him. Both of these men tremendously agile. You see what I mean by the difference in athletes? When a guy can do a nip-up, you see the moves out there. You see what is really intense competition. Dr. Death with that arm brace from that stress fracture he received from Hacksaw Duggan. Oh, you could hear Terry Daniels suck it up as the air went out all the way over here to the desk, Boyd.
And Dr. Death, as Terry Daniels cleared the ring with him, he circled and really come back as the aggressor all the way.
You can hear that shoe leather. Again, like I say, you can imitate it, like Stossel and that little short fat guy that was demonstrating what he called professional wrestling to him on ABC's 2020. But you see the difference in what's imitated and when the body's hit, when you hear the shoe leather go off. They had to dig under a lot of rocks before they could find somebody. They're so ashamed of what they try to imitate that they created that fairy tale for Stossel and ABC. But we've seen a lot of people do a lot of things to get on national television. And it doesn't necessarily mean because you're on national TV that your credibility has been added to one iota. Armbar, Terry Daniels in a lot of trouble with Steve Dr. Death Williams. And coming up next, the Rock and Roll Express against the Barbarian and Jake the Snake Roberts in what should be a tremendous main event here on Mid-South Wrestling. Terry Taylor, Dr. Death punishing him. We're going to have Ric Flair, the NWA World's Champion, appearing in Mid-South area. Ric Flair, to me, is the most impressive of the world's champions. There's 3 claiming to be world's champions. But Ric Flair of the National Wrestling Alliance, certainly the most venerable and well-respected body in the world today, is my choice as the greatest athlete representing the world's heavyweight title. Good move by Terry Daniels.
Side body block. He's got the big Dr. down. 1, 2. He had him in a tremendous predicament. Dr. Death fought out. Terry Daniels taking it to him. This could be for $10,000 in the television tournament. These men have to win these bouts and advance to the finals. This is the 3rd round. Terry Daniels trying to get the knock while he's got butterflies and cobwebs up there. Terry tried the same move once too often, and Dr. Death caught him in midair, scooped him up, and he's hit him with the elbow of the stampede. And if you think he didn't plant him there, I tell you, when 300 pounds drives you down like that, it wipes out all the air and the desire.
And the stampede in the power carries Steve Dr. Death Williams on up the ladder of the television title tournament. We'll be back. Tag team action after this word from Mid-South Wrestling Television Network.
This tag team match on Mid-South Wrestling, 1 fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing the team in the red corner. At 252 pounds from Atlanta, Georgia, Jake the Snake Roberts. His partner, 6'8", 320 pounds from parts unknown, the Barbarian. The Mid-South Tag Team Champions, Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson, the Rock and Roll Express. The introduction of this team match as the rugged Barbarian and his team partner from Atlanta, Jake the Snake Roberts, against what I consider
the most exciting team, both in agility and ability, Bill Watts, in professional wrestling today, whether it's on Mid-South or anywhere in the world.
Certainly the well-loved team, too, Boyd Pierce, as the bell is called for. And Robert and Ricky turn around to face maybe one of the most awesome teams they could ever face. 6'5", Jake the Snake Roberts, 6'8", 320-pound Barbarian, a powerful mass of muscle. And of course, wherever the rock and roll goes, everybody's shooting for him, whether it's the Freebirds, the Midnight Express, the Dirty White Boys, the Road Warriors, everybody tries them. And like Ricky says, rock and roll's here to stay. And when you see the agility of that youngster and the fighting heart, and you see Jake the Snake slither back as he got outmaneuvered by Ricky Morton.
The Barbarian stepping across that top rope with the steel cable.
And it'll be interesting to see Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson's strategy against a man this big, this tall, this powerful. It'll have to pit movement and leverage against brute strength. They can't stand in there against him. Hard to catch a moving target. It's like Muhammad Ali. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. I'm sorry, the man is powerful. Boyd, I don't think he's playing with a full deck either. He is awesome. He defeated Hacksaw Butch Reed, and I know Butch Reed's tough. But he couldn't outpower this man. Oh, he leveled. He decapitated Ricky Morton.
Well, the Barbarian is properly named because his actions are barbaric. There's no doubt about that, Bill.
He's awesome. He is awesome. Ricky is a valiant man, but Ricky's grimacing in pain. I think it'd be wise for Ricky to tag out of there right now, but Ricky's got such a fighting heart. Ricky just doesn't know quit. It's not the size of the dog, it's the size of the heart in the dog in the fight. And Ricky Morton is all heart. It didn't even phase the big man. Look at the Barbarian. Ricky tried a great maneuver, one he's had a lot of success with, but the Barbarian with one hand takes him over and drops him across that top rope. Tag is made to the DDT man, Jake the Snake, the man with the most feared hold in wrestling. The only man that perfected it. Hip toss. The crowd is pulling for Ricky and Robert Morton. Let me tell you, Robert Morton, Ricky and Robert, they are the heart and soul of Mid-South. They represent Mid-South. They're independent. They got that fighting heart. They go against all odds. And I think that represents what Mid-South stands for. And look at that speed, and Robert Gibson in, and they're like a clock in their teamwork.
Well, he's been on the outside waiting for his chance, and now he puts it to Jake the Snake, and back in is Ricky.
He continues to attack that leg that Robert Gibson applied that spinning toe hold to. And Jake the Snake in a lot of pain. Ricky Morton's attacking the legs. When you got somebody 6'5", you got to bring him down to your size. It'll be a great maneuver. We have not seen anybody yet be able to get the Barbarian down and contain him in that manner. They're going to have to figure a way to keep him off his feet, too, because he's got so much power standing in the leverage of his height. Ankle bar. Again, here on Mid-South, we're proud to be your wrestling. We're not a big combine out of New York. We're not associated with the NWA, with the AWA, with the WWF. We're independent, and we hope that we bring you the best athletes in the world. And that certainly, as always, you show tremendous appreciation. And what a great main event this one is. Watch out! Oh! That's like running into a car wreck. Robert Gibson, a lot of trouble. The big Barbarian, as he just holds him with one hand and then slams him. Tag is made. Jake the Snake coming in. the Snake taunting, slithering. Wily serpentine individual. Taking his time, knowing that the Rock and Roll Express have come up against a combination that they may not at this point know how to deal with. Taking the most of it, showing off here on national TV. Mid-South Wrestling. The Barbarian, again, powerful, powerful man.
He uses that one arm, Bill, just brute streak, raw, awesome, unharnessed power.
You get slammed from 6'8" in the air, boy, Pierce. I've heard the wise guys say, well, you guys know how to fall. Let me tell you, knowing how to fall doesn't help you. There's still no anti-gravitational device on you. When you come down, your kidneys, your lungs, your heart, your back, your sacroiliac, everything is screaming in pain. It hurts. Jake the Snake is taunting, taunting, taunting. Ricky Morton as Robert Gibson rise in pain. Robert Gibson fighting, fighting. He's made the tag. Robert Gibson's made the tag. A double drop kick. They outsmarted Jake the Snake. They hit the big man. Even the big man goes down with a double drop kick. Oh, Ricky Morton hung in those steel cables. Boy, he's hung in those steel cables. They got to get some help out there.
He'll have to hurry, too.
He's hung. Robert Gibson trying to help him. The Dirty White Boys are hanging him. The Dirty White Boys have pulled his legs off the apron where he can't support himself. This could be critical. They're trying to hang him. Jake the Snake just DDT'd Robert Gibson. Jake the Snake, a disqualification. Ricky Morton's in bad trouble. The Dirty White Boys.
The neck entwined between those steel cables.
Everybody's coming to help because they love Ricky Morton. Ricky Morton's in bad way.
They need to hurry.
The Barbarian has Duggan in the full Nelson. The Barbarian putting the squeeze on Duggan as Jake keeps him off. They've got Duggan trapped out there now. Robert Gibson down with the DDT. Ricky Morton has been hung. And they've got Duggan going unconscious. Steve Casey, Tim Horner trying to get in the ring. Duggan is out. Now the Barbarian is attacking. Jake the Snake just DDT Duggan. It's out of control. We got to get some help down here. Grizzly Smith has got to get somebody down here to clear the ring. The Barbarian and Jake the Snake have left bodies in the ring. Bodies in the ring everywhere.
And we'll be right back on the exciting Mid-South Wrestling Television Network.
This match on Mid-South Wrestling one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing first in the red corner at 264 pounds from New Jersey, Jack Victory. His opponent in the blue corner at 251 pounds from Manchester, England, Steve Casey.
This event one fall or 10-minute time limit as Jack Victory from New Jersey takes on Manchester, England's Steve Casey. Randy Anderson calls for the bell and two big men in the ring, Bill.
That's right, and Boyd, I'm still a little bit aghast at what happened, and the crowd is still very disturbed. Ricky Morton had to be carried from the arena. The intent of the Dirty White Boys, when a man was possibly could have had his very life's blood cut off with the steel cables twisting around his neck like an octopus. The carotid arteries crimped, the air crimped, everything crimped. Instead of coming to help him, they came and hung on him and pulled him down. And of course, when Robert Gibson making a valiant effort to save his beloved partner, Jake the Snake striking from behind, so serpentine with that deadly DDT. And then Duggan, a valiant effort. And then the Barbarian catching Duggan from behind and that crushing full Nelson, and then Jake Roberts, after he was unconscious, picking him up and hitting him with a DDT. I've never seen such mayhem. Of course, Steve Casey made a valiant effort to overcome it, but I don't know what it'd take to have gotten that under control. Steve Casey, a young man who last week electrified everybody in the second round of the television title tournament by beating Chris Adams, one of the top stars of world-class wrestling, who had entered this tournament hoping to gain the $10,000 and extend his range of domination. Steve Casey, by the way, next week here on Mid-South Wrestling will be against Jake the Snake Roberts in the 4th round of the television tournament. A very agile man, 6'5", 251, a soccer and rugby player from Manchester, England. Great athlete. And of course, typically with a British understatement, a very modest man. All right, he's slapping Jack Victory. He's firing things up out here. I think what he saw, he realized that now Mid-South is a little bit different than the European style. That it's really a matter of survival here in what is called, in terms of the industry, the toughest wrestling competition in the world today. Wow, Jack Victory really caught him. He caught Steve Casey a shot in the solar plexus. As Jack Victory competing to move up the ladder also. The competition is intense at all levels, as we saw last week with Tim Horner and Tommy Prichard, two former friends that even hooked it up here in that $10,000 quest for the television title. That European-style forearm, Steve Casey really straightened out Jack Victory. Drop toes, beautiful move. He wraps it up into a figure four move. No, he's going for a reverse surfboard, and there you see the European version of a very exciting hold. And Jack Victory quickly gave up rather than having his back incapacitated.
And now you see Steve Casey's hand raised in victory. Tag team action coming up. Stay with us. We'll be right back on the Mid-South Wrestling Television Network.
This tag team match on Mid-South Wrestling, one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing first in the red corner, 225 pounds from Lexington, Tennessee, General Eddie Gilbert. His partner from parts unknown at 280 pounds, the Nightmare. Their opponents, 260 pounds from South Carolina, Rocky Montana. His partner, 227 pounds from Knoxville, Tennessee, Tim Horner.
Tag team action now is the Nightmare with 280 pounds. His partner, General Eddie Gilbert, at over 220 pounds, makes a combined weight of 500 plus pounds against the team of Rocky Montana and Tim Horner.
General Eddie Gilbert. Heard a lot about this young man. I don't know much about the Nightmare. As a matter of fact, the way he got named the Nightmare is Gilbert won't tell us who he is. He says that a lot of people consider him a nightmare, and so do I. So, as you heard, Jim Ross just called him the Nightmare. But, wow, Tim Horner, a terrific move against Eddie Gilbert. And Eddie Gilbert tags in. The man termed the Nightmare, a very powerful man. And he wastes no time in going on the attack with Tim Horner. Big, powerful man. Looks to have 300-pound range. Very stocky, solid individual. You can tell he's tough when he hits Tim Horner, and Tim Horner, the first thing hit that mat was the back of Tim Horner's head, boy.
And now face first into the turnbuckle, and writhing in pain, you see Tim Horner, and continuing the punishment and the onslaught, the Nightmare, 280 pounds plus.
Wow, and General Eddie Gilbert sure cheers him on. Gilbert, now that Tim Horner is incapacitated, he's come in to the attack with rapid type punches. Not a lot of stunning effect, but certainly painful. Reverse chin lock. Gilbert punishing Tim Horner. Steve Casey next week here on Mid-South Wrestling will go against Jake the Snake Roberts in the 4th round of the big Mid-South television title tournament. The tournament brought about when Terry Taylor won the North American title. And it was decided by the Mid-South Board of Directors that his schedule would not permit him to serve both titles. Naturally, the more prestigious North American title, Terry Taylor vacated the television title. Terry Taylor's become a real target with that North American title. A lot of people don't think that he deserved to win it. Well, I guarantee you, he's shown me what a tremendous athlete he is and what great heart he has and what a gentleman he is. And it's a real breath of fresh air. Of course, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the man that walks tall for Mid-South, ran Ted DiBiase for a 30-day unpaid vacation. Duggan will be the target of everybody. The Barbarian, Jake the Snake Roberts. Skandar Akbar has been mumbling and grumbling about Duggan's interference. Jim Duggan better have eyes in the back of his head as he saw what happened to him here today. Eddie Gilbert punishing Tim Horner. Snap there by Horner. I've not even got to see Tim Horner's partner in the ring yet. They've got Horner over the corner. They're doubling up on him. Horner trying to fight out. Oh, Horner went for that drop kick, but Eddie Gilbert wasn't there, and Eddie Gilbert went for an elbow, and Horner wasn't there. Tag is made. Rocky Montana. We don't know much about Rocky Montana. Tag made behind Rocky Montana's back to the Nightmare. And the Nightmare certainly knows how to use that head with that short, thick, powerful neck. Set him up, looks like a pile driver, Boyd. He pile drives Rocky Montana.
And the Nightmare and General Eddie Gilbert make a victorious debut, a victory in their first appearance on Mid-South. We'll be right back. Kamala, the Ugandan warrior in action after this important message.
Ladies and gentlemen, this match won fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing first in the red corner, presented by General Skandar Akbar at 400 pounds, Kamala, the Ugandan giant. His opponent, 255 pounds from Birmingham, Alabama, Steve Brinson. Ladies and gentlemen, before we start this match, General Skandar Akbar has asked to take this time to make this statement.
The events that has happened the past few weeks here in the Mid-South, with the unprovoked attacks on Friday, and among other things created chiefly by a young Terry Taylor, it is a consensus feeling of everybody that I was losing control. And all of you people I know love to egg it on. I can assure you that the demise of the general is not at hand, that I am still as powerful as ever, and a wealthy man with the worldwide resources that I have in my worldwide contacts. You simply take the next step. And I made a trip to the island of Haiti, and I took the Ugandan warrior Kamala with me. We all know there's good and evil in all of us, and I will leave it to you to be the judge of what transpired on the island of Haiti. All I can tell you now is that I'm the only living human being that has control of Kamala. There's 3 individuals in the Mid-South now that I will publicly warn. First of all, Terry Taylor, for creating this chaotic situation within my organization. for holding that North American title, which should be in the general stable. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, for what you did to Ted DiBiase, and for sticking your big bulbous bell pepper nose in mine and Terry Taylor's affair. Yes, you heard me. And third and last but not least, Brickhouse Brown. Brickhouse Brown. I have already eliminated your kind in the form of Hacksaw Reed and Iceman King Parsons completely out of the Mid-South. And I'm calling you the last of the Mohicans. I made a mistake. You're not a Mohican. You know what you are. You profess to be something that you are not. Let it be worn now, gentlemen. Kamala will be as dangerous as ever.
Bill, there you heard it from General Skandar Akbar straight out. As his man is being prepared in the corner by him, he says he has complete control and the only man in the world to control the Ugandan giant Kamala as he takes on big Steve Brinson.
Well, I'll guarantee you, Skandar Akbar doesn't make threats lightly. That's one thing everybody worldwide has learned. When the general makes a threat, you often don't know the direction it's going to go. But you can count on one thing, that he's going to do everything he can to fulfill it. A different Kamala. Kamala has not started off chopping and rushing. But Akbar's just given him the sign, and Kamala just started bearing down and devastating Steve Brinson. A big man, Steve Brinson, 6'5" himself, 260 or 70 pounds. And you see with Kamala, he is practically helpless out there. Kamala, 387 pounds, a man that we could see was disturbed 2 weeks ago, shaken completely when Friday was pile-drived on the concrete floor by Terry Taylor. And Akbar was worried about his lack of control with Friday missing. But apparently he has taken some measure that is yet to be revealed. Kamala going for that formidable, tremendous avalanche-type splash, 387 pounds into the small of the back of Steve Brinson. 1, 2, 3. Carl Fergie calls for the
Savage
bell.
warrior from Uganda as he took the signals from General Skandar Akbar gains a victory. We'll be back and see the debut of Dirty Dutch Mantell after this word from Mid-South Wrestling Television Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, this match of Mid-South Wrestling, one fall or television time remaining. Introducing first in the red corner at 231 pounds from Oil Trough, Texas, Dirty Dutch Mantell. His opponent at 220 pounds from South Carolina, Stony Montana.
Oil Trough, Texas. That's the hometown of Dirty Dutch Mantell and Stony Montana. His opponent, action already underway, Bill, so we better catch up with him.
Dutch Mantell, a tough one. He is a Vietnam veteran. He's double rugged. He carries that bullwhip. He calls it Shoe Baby. Dutch Mantell, a brawler, a tough guy. He said in his experience in Vietnam, one thing he's sure of, he doesn't believe in negotiated government settlements. He says if you're going to go down there to beat them, to kick them and whip them. I think that's one thing that the children of this fine nation have lost consciousness of, the fact that when America used to go to war, it was to win that war, not to get a political negotiated settlement and create a situation for unemployment. I don't want to get off into politics right here, but I believe America has to return and be strong. When you're number one, you got to walk tall and be number one. Dutch Mantell, powerful man. A lot of new faces in Mid-South, a lot of things happening, Boyd Pierce, a lot of undercurrents. Ricky Morton is from the dressing room, we've been told. Ricky is all right. Tremendous, thank God for his powerful neck that you get from wrestling. All wrestlers have tremendous neck muscles. Of course, when those steel cables cut across there, that carotid artery still gets crimped, and he was unconscious. But it doesn't look like there's any permanent damage. And I'm sure that he's going to be looking for the Dirty White Boys because he knew their intent, as well as Jake the Snake and the Barbarian. Hacksaw Duggan, he's just too tough to stay down. I don't think anything can put Duggan down very long. Of course, Robert Gibson. A lot has happened here today. We want to thank you again for joining us. We see now the debut of Dirty Dutch Mantell and another newcomer, Stoney Montana. Next week, round 4 of the television title tournament, Steve Casey against Jake the Snake Roberts. The Dirty White Boys, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, plus Mid-South's younger, and I put that in quotes, broadcast team, my son Joel, the 21-year-old, the youngest television commentator and wrestling in this nation, and Jim Ross, our director of marketing, a very exciting young man, Boyd.
Exactly. We're proud that they're the younger broadcast team, Bill. They really do a tremendous announcing job as knowledge, and they break it down where the people can understand it.
And from the point of view, as the way they feel it and their age group views it. Dutch Mantell has certainly not given Stoney Montana a lot to be happy about on his debut. 2 men making their debut on Mid-South, and they know how important it is. When you come to Mid-South, you're going to get checked. You're going to get pressed to the limit. You're going to get tested. You're going to see if you're really a man. And whatever your reputation is from another wrestling area, it doesn't mean anything when you come here until you prove it. You know, a lot of fans have told me, Junkyard Dog, a great star here. And now in New York, they say, you're right, Bill. He'll have a tough match every now and then, but not consistently. It's just easier up there, and that's right. As you see Dutch Mantell, and I've never seen that maneuver. He started for a standing suplex, it looked like, stopped in midstream, and dropped the guy back face down. We'll have to find out what his term for that is, Boyd. I mean, that was a devastating maneuver. And again, we want to thank you for joining us today in Mid-South.
We certainly do. And remember, next week, it'll be Steve Casey from Manchester, England versus Atlanta, Georgia's Jake the Snake Roberts as we move into round 4 of Mid-South Television Tournament. Also, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the Dirty White Boys. And until then, thank you so much for viewing us. We hope to see you on the same channel next week. For ring announcer Jim Ross, for Bill Watts, our great commentator, I'm your host, Boyd Pierce, saying thank you so very much until we see you next week on the Mid-South Wrestling Television Network.